This is the new data changes form that we'll be using for this year instead of tracking sheets to enable us to inform of any changes that we need to make to information about our learners. For example, when they complete a learning aim, transfer from one aim to another, if they withdraw, if we need to record a break in learning, which is something new and I'll explain about, or if we need to change a start or end date. You'll notice along the bottom of this Excel spreadsheet we have a number of tabs so that we can change information for more than one learner on the same spreadsheet. Tutors will need to save this spreadsheet somewhere that they can access it at any time, and in a timely manner when courses end or when we need to make changes, complete it, save the change information and send it to their line manager to validate. So I'm going to demonstrate how to make changes. I'm looking at the moment at the first tab for learner number 1. You can complete up to 10 learners on this spreadsheet. So learner number 1, the first thing that we need to type in is their name. Oops, if I can spell it correctly. We then need to type in either their date of birth, or if it's easier, which it may be for ESOL or ILS learners, their learner number. That will be found on the registers for ESOL and ILS. Their current learning aim, so from this list here I'm going to select that this particular learner is presently working on an ESOL ILP aim, and their current learning level. So this learner again, I'm going to select from the options that they're working towards an E2 qualification. We need to also select whether they have a teaching assistant funded by ALS supporting them in the class, and for this learner I'm going to say yes. Okay, we then have a number of changes that we may want to make, and you'll notice down here that we also have a box to record a learner e-signature, but you'll notice that that is for aim transfers only, so only for this second option that we may want to do, which is making an aim transfer. So I'll explain a bit more about that one in a moment. So the first thing that we may want to do is to complete a learning aim. So it's come to the end of a course, they've taken their exams, and we need to complete all of these learners. So if that's what we want to do, then we'll click on this yes button. Now you'll notice as I click on the yes, I'm prompted with an error message. It says that it cannot run the macro because macros may have been disabled. So if I click OK, I can see on my spreadsheet here, my Excel spreadsheet, that I have my macros disabled. If you get that prompt, you'll need to click on Options. You'll need to select the button here that says Enable this content and click on OK. Then, when you click on this Yes button next to Complete Learning Aim, it will work and you'll see that you have a number of extra pieces of information that you need to complete regarding this first learner. Okay, so for this learner, they have taken their exam, and they finished ILP aim, so they haven't taken an exam. The course has finished, so we need to complete them. So we can type that their last date of attendance was this week. The actual GLH they completed was 36 hours. The ILP achieved, we can select yes or no, so I'm going to say yes. Outcome for ILP achievement would be, you see that throws me. This is the new data changes form that we'll be using for this year to replace the tracking sheets when we make changes to anything to do with our learner status. You'll notice that it's created in Excel. You'll need to save a copy of this when your manager sends it to you, to your computer or to work computer, and make changes in a timely manner when any of your learners complete, change aims, withdraw, etc. I'm going to explain how this works. First of all, you'll notice that along the bottom we have a number of tabs. You can make a change to information about just one learner or up to 10 learners. We have 10 separate learner tabs along the bottom in this one sheet. Once you've made any changes, save the new version of the spreadsheet and send it to your line manager, who will validate it and send it to our business support team to make the changes on our live system in a timely manner. This will affect our funding for this academic year. If I just go to the End tab along the bottom, there's actually an 11th tab with notes to back up everything that I'm going to explain in this video clip, and I'll show you the notes at the end. So, first of all, we need to make a change to some information about one of the learners in our group. The first thing that we need to do is to record their name, their date of birth, or their learner number. It may be easier if they're ESOL or ILS to use the learner number because this is on the registers. Their current learning aim, so from this learner at the edge here I'm going to select from the possible options ESOL ILP. Their current learning level, so this learner I'm going to say is at E2, entry 2 from the list, and whether or not they have a TA funded by additional learning support. So for this learner I'll say yes, they do. Okay, then we have the possibility of making a number of different changes. We can complete a learning aim, make an aim transfer, withdraw a student, record a break in learning, which is something new for this year and I'll explain in a while, or change a start or end date. You'll see we also have this box here which says Learner e-signature, and it very clearly says for aim transfer only. We only need a learner signature for an aim transfer. This cell is blue, matching the blue make an aim transfer cell here, so only need to complete that for that learner, that situation. I'm going to first of all explain how to complete a learning aim. So if we've got to the end of the course, the learner's either taken an exam or whatever, we need to complete all of the learners in that class, or on occasions maybe just one learner. So if we want to complete the learning aim, we can click on this Yes button here. This is what we want to do. You'll notice as I click on the yes, I get an error message, a prompt message come up. It says that I cannot run the macro because my macros may be disabled. So if I click on OK, I'll see up here that I have a warning that my macros have been disabled. If I get that error message, I need to click on Options, and I have the option here to select Enable Content. So if I select that, click on OK, the next time I try and click on this Yes button to complete the learning aim, you'll see that it has given me a number of extra rows that I need to complete. Okay, so yes will show me these extra rows. If I'd made a mistake and didn't want to complete the learning aim, I wanted to choose one of these other options, I can click on the hide just to hide those extra rows again. But in this situation I do want to complete the learning aim, so click on yes. So what I need to complete then is the last date of attendance. So this learner came to the class last week, that was the last class of the course, so I put last week as the last date of attendance. The actual GLH, they completed a 36-hour course and they attended for 36 hours up until the end of the course. ILP achievement, yes, they achieved their ILP, so I can select yes from the yes/no option. The outcome, again, we have the choice of ILP achieved, not taken, no achievement if it was an exam and they didn't take the exam, or awaiting result if they did take the exam but we don't know the result yet. The results of all exams are going to be sent from our accreditation team straight to MI, so we won't ever have to inform them of the exam result, but we will obviously still find out whether or not they have passed. Okay, so in this situation, I'm going for this learner, I'm going to put ILP achieved. Destination, if known, again we have a number of options, and it's great that we can now actually collate this information centrally. Hopefully most of them will be employment or progressing on to further learning. It's very good for Ofsted, etc. if we can demonstrate progression, positive progression onto further learning and work. Comments, we don't need to use the comments box for anything apart from the break in learning, but it is useful to be able to record, for example, if we know that this learner has gone on and got a job working in the William Harvey Hospital in Ashford or something, for example. The more information we can find out about that, the more it tells us for planning future courses, demonstrating to Ofsted progression, maybe identifying partners that we may be able to work with, etc. So if you can record that information, excellent. Okay, so that is all that we would need to do to record a completion of a learning aim for one learner. Again, if the whole class had finished, you could do the same for the other learners in the class, save the spreadsheet and send it to your line manager. Okay, I've finished with that, demonstrating that one, so I'm going to hide it. On another occasion, you might want to record that this particular learner, halfway through their class, you've demonstrated that they're actually capable of passing an exam, taking an exam. So we want to change their aim from being an ILP to being a speaking and listening qualification, for example. So if we want to make an aim transfer, we would click on the yes next to that option. And again, you'll see it drops down a number of additional rows of information that are needed, different ones to the completion of a learning aim. First thing that we need to record is the fact that they're going to take the, if I can find it on the list, ESOL Trinity Speaking and Listening, for example. So they're transferring from an ILP to a speaking and listening qualification. They're taking the speaking and listening still at entry level 2. The original aim end date. So last week they were still working towards this original aim, this ILP aim. So the last session last week, in my example, was the 11th of the 10th. This week, which is the next week of the course, we're changing them and they're going to be working towards this new aim of speaking and listening. So I would type in 18th of the 10th. Okay, I can see what I've done. I've put 2018 there, which really isn't very helpful. 2013. Okay, so this week they're transferring onto the new aim. Okay, and you'll notice the error message that just came up told me that this date has to be after that date. They can't start the new aim before they have finished their old aim. If you type in dates that aren't sequential, you will get an error message. It won't let you do it. Okay, the new planned end date for the course. So this course is going to finish around about Christmas time. New planned GLH, so it was a 36-week course originally. They have 24 weeks left. And a comment. You can record a comment if you wish to. You'll notice here that we have a bright red reminder that we need an e-signature. So we need a signature for making an aim transfer. We need to demonstrate to our auditors that we have had a conversation with the learner and that they are agreeing to work towards a new aim. So it could be an increase in level, it could be transferring from a speaking and listening to a full qual, it could be any change to their aim. We are no longer allowed to transfer from a qualification down to an ILP aim. That is not acceptable any longer. So that's that one we cannot do. Okay, so the signature, we presently have two methods of getting a signature from a learner. We're piloting using some e-signature pads, which are like the little things that you sign on if you get a parcel delivered or Tesco's. Those will be rolled out and available around the county in the near future. At present, if you don't have one of those in your centre, you'll need to complete a programme form with the learner signature to demonstrate that the learner is in agreement with the fact that they're transferring to a new aim. Okay, so that's making a new aim transfer. I'm going to hide that one and demonstrate withdrawing a learner. So if we want to withdraw a learner, click on yes. Again, we have a number of boxes in which to record information. Withdraw learner, yes. Last date of attendance will be last week. Actual GLH may have attended for 24 hours.